Yo, what's going on, everybody? You were watching the Jets Report by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got a fun one for you guys. We're taking a look here at Dane Brugler's latest mock draft for the New York Jets. He did the first round, so we got two selections coming up for the Jets. Pick number 7 and pick number 23, so stay tuned for that. But if you guys want the Jets to nail the 2026 NFL Draft, hit that subscribe button today. It's a massive turning point in the franchise. Will they trade up for the quarterback? Will they stick and pick and land two players to help complete a pretty good roster? We'll wait and see what happens. But if you guys want the Jets to nail the draft, hit that subscribe button today and help us reach our next milestone here on YouTube. So this is how Dane Brugler had the draft shaken out. He actually had the Cleveland Browns trading up to get the number 1 overall pick with the Tennessee Titans, and they drafted a Jets fan favorite already, Fernando Mendoza. But then he also had the Las Vegas Raiders trading up with the New York Giants to get Dante Moore. Then they had the edge linebacker hybrid Reese going to the Saints. Then the bit of a shocker here was Carnell Tate going number 4 to the New York Giants. Then Keldrick Folk, the edge rusher, going to the Tennessee Titans from the Browns. You had Ruben Bain, and then you had the Jets taking Jordyn Tyson, Arizona State wide receiver. You had David Bailey, Spencer Fano, and then Caleb Downs with the 10th overall selection. Now, listen, I think Jordyn Tyson's a fine player. Now, that doesn't mean I would be happy with this pick. Like, I think Jordyn Tyson, he should probably go around that 10-15 range. I think he'll be a really, really good wide receiver in the league. But I also think the Jets should just go defense in round 1 if you aren't taking that quarterback, because we know this Jets defense, just from a personnel perspective, there is a lot of talent to be had. Like, if you just had to compare just talent-wise the Jets defensive roster to everybody else in the league, like, you could make a good argument it has some of the least amount of talent in the entire NFL. So I would rather have them go defense. This is why Dane Brugler had them going offense and a wide receiver, saying who will be quarterbacking the Jets in 2026? General manager Darren Mougey has plenty of draft capital to move up for a quarterback, but it also wouldn't be surprising to see New York continue to build up its roster, go with a bridge option under center, and target a 2027 prospect. He said durability concerns are a part of his evaluation, but Tyson reminds me of a prime Stefon Diggs with his ability to create space and win at the catch point. And Bruegler, I think he was spot on with his comparison for Jordyn Tyson to Stefon Diggs. Like, they are both very savvy route runners. They create space at a very, very high level, both very good after the catch. And this guy would be a tremendous complement to Garrett Wilson. 61 catches, over 700 yards so far this season with 8 touchdowns. And, Tyson's a solid player. Like, I'm not saying I would completely, be up in arms about this pick. But, guys, if Caleb Downs is still on the board and the Jets pass on him, yeah, I'd be pissed. Like, if Caleb Downs goes 6, if he goes 5, and then you're like, all right, we'll just get another weapon, that's cool. But also, I think this draft class has a lot of depth at the wide receiver position. So if Caleb Downs is on the board and Darren Mougey passes on him, you better love that player you're taking instead of Caleb Downs. Because I still think, in terms of just, if I had to say, like, hey, this one guy in this year's draft class is going to be a surefire hit in the NFL at the next level, Caleb Downs would be that guy. And also from the Jets' perspective, you can get some other guys here. Like, you still have that, Colts pick, which would probably be around, 19 to 25 in the first round when it's all said and done. But you guys know I love Elijah Surratt, Indiana wide receiver. He's an absolute stud. I think he's incredibly underrated. Nick Harbor, he's a hell of a player. Mekhi Lemon, even though he's undersized, I love his game. He's fantastic, kind of in that Amon-Ra St. Brown archetypal wide receiver. We also got Chris Bell and the Jacoby Lane as well from USC. But there are some other good options there. And wide receiver, not that big of a priority. Like, A.D. Mitchell has really came on over the last couple of weeks, playing some good football, had over 100 yards this past week. And if you add Jordyn Tyson to that fold with A.D. Mitchell, like, yeah, you would have one of the better wide receiver cores, frankly, in the NFL. But also, like, you think about what the style of team Aaron Glenn wants to construct. Like, he wants to be a run-first offense. He wants to rely on that defense. I think Dane Brugler was not really considering, like, what's the identity of the Jets football team? They want to get downhill. They want to be a run-first team. So are you going to have 3 elite wide receivers who you got to have on the field at pretty much all times? I just don't really think that's the case. And this is why that A.D. Mitchell-Sauce Gardner trade was so big, because it gives the Jets flexibility. Like, if you didn't get A.D. Mitchell or if you didn't get John Mechie, like, yeah, maybe I'll be more open to the Jets taking wide receiver with that first pick. But I would rather go defense. But you guys let me know. Which side of the ball should the Jets attack? Give me an O for offense or give me a D for defense. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, coming up next year on the show, Jets also have the Colts pick at number 23 right now. So we'll discuss who Dane Brugler had the Jets taking. But before we do so, if you guys want to get some more New York Jets gear in your life, we got a massive sale going on right now where this hoodie is over 50% off. So take advantage of it before it's too late. Chatsports.com/Jets hoodie. That link will be in the comment section and description of today's show. Just click that link and get yourself a new Jets hoodie in your life. All right, let's talk about it. Pick number 23. Now, I also think it's a big possibility that Jets only make one pick in the first round if they do go up there and they do land, a quarterback like Fernando Mendoza, but he has some sticking and picking here so far. And, this is who Bruegler had the draft shaken out. Jeremiah Love to the Vikes. He also had a guy like Kenyon Sadiq going to the Kansas City Chiefs, the Oregon tight end. That would be a great pick. But then another quarterback there, Ty Simpson. So he did have the Jets passing on a quarterback. We got Peter Woods, Katie McDaniel thrown in there. I don't know. Is that Kiko's brother? Muaga? Yeah, it is. The offensive tackle for Miami. He's a hell of a player, too. Caden Proctor would be a great pick for the Lions as well. But, and we carry on here. He had the Jets actually taking Brandon Cisse, the South Carolina cornerback. Now, this guy, he's a hell of a player. Would I love this pick? I would like it. I don't know if I would love it. I think he's kind of reaching for this a little bit, but he does excel in zone. Jets obviously run a whole lot of zone coverage. But, man, I'll tell you what, if Delane is off the board, then I'm cool with them going Cisse. Because also, if you take, if it does play out, you take a wide receiver with your first pick, you have to go secondary with your second pick. But ideally, producer Dylan and I were talking about it, ideally you take, Caleb Downs with the first overall selection in the first round, and then with your second overall pick in round one, then maybe you go defensive line, so you kind of get a, interior player, and you also get a member of the secondary. But this is what Bruegler had to say about Cisse, saying an NC State transfer. Cisse has been a riser all season because of his drive, burst, and vertical speed. Scouts really like the way he easily transitions out of his pedal, which allows him to stay hip to hip in man coverage before getting his head turned to find the football. Cisse is an ascending prospect, and he is. He has skyrocketed up draft boards over the last couple of months. Now, I will say, at least just from what I've seen on the very limited film I've watched on him, he does kind of fit more of as a zone corner compared to a man corner. He's a great athlete. I would have no concerns about him being able to go step for step in man coverage, but he can get, out of his breaks a little rough when guys running ins and outs on him. But as a zone coverage, a zone coverage corner, I think it would be a great fit. And, I would be going best player available here over, filling a need, because the Jets are also in a position where, if you're, for example, the Eagles, or if you're the Chiefs, if you're the Bills, yes, maybe you just want to go fill a need on the roster, but the Jets just need better football players in their organization. So I would rather have them just go BPA at the spot, considering, took a wide receiver with the 7th overall pick. So I think the Jets got two options here. It's either number one, you go all in on Fernando Mendoza, and you give up that Colts first-round pick. You'll probably have to give up your other first-round pick in 2027 as well. So you put all the chips to the center of the table on Mendoza. You go get your franchise quarterback. You would still maybe have to give up one of your second-round picks for this year, but you still at least have one second-round pick, either yours or the Dallas Cowboys. Or if you don't do that, just use both picks on defense. Give Aaron Glenn what he wants, because he is, even though he's not calling the plays, he's a defensive-minded head coach. It would fit the identity that the Jets are trying to establish here, being a run-first team, rely on that defense. So I think you got two options there. I would much rather have them go either of these options and go wide receiver and a cornerback in round one as well. But that's just personally what I would do. But maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you guys like this mock draft. Maybe you like Jordyn Tyson. I do really like him as a prospect. I just want to say that. I don't think, the Jets would draft him. He would be a bust by any means, but I just don't really think it fits the identity and the direction this team is going. So grade the mock draft for me. Give me an A, B, C, or D, or F down below in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts. But we'll get on out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, go Jets.